AFITC 2020, Dr. Michael L. Thomas, Pandemics, Fake News and Social Media, the COVID Disinformation Campaign from Overseas. The attack surface has increased. Criminals are taking advantage. Cybercriminals are misbehaving during the outbreak. Before February 11th, COVID news and themed attacks were relatively scarce. On February 11th, WHO named the virus COVID-19, and attackers started to deploy disinfo campaigns. There has been a clear trend in increasing attacks since February. Google and Amazon will direct $25 million to sites spreading COVID disinfo this year through their digital advertising platforms, a study by the Global Disinformation Index has found. COVID disinfo does real-world harm. Harms to public health, public order and to specific groups. And is being funded by advertising. This shows the share of ad revenue from COVID disinfo sites. This is an example of a disinfo ad. And another example of a disinfo ad. Yet another examples of a disinfo ad, this one from Fox News. Another example of a disinfo ad, this one political. A British example, no longer human after vaccination. Another disinfo ad example, re-education camps. Disinfo also comes from overseas sources. They blame COVID on the US. All these come from 480 English sites from the disinformation database that had the highest density of coronavirus disinfo as a percent of content and carried advertising were identified. And even more tout fake cures from overseas. Some sites are of concern because of the harm they do. The revenue estimates are based on the following assumptions. Estimated web traffic based on public sources. An assumption of 1 impression per page view. An average RPM, revenue per 1,000 impressions, of 70 cents. If multiple ad tech companies are detected servicing a page, the money is divided between them. Pushback becomes necessary when it gets to the highest levels. Sites spreading COVID-19 disinfo earn $25 million in ad revenues a year. Each ad dollar paid out to these sites deprives media sites covering the COVID-19 pandemic of much-needed revenue. Google is the leader in supplying ad services to these disinfo sites. Google, Amazon and OpenX account for 95% of the ad revenues paid to COVID-19 disinformation sites. Ads placed on these sites include those for brand names like Amazon Prime, AstraZeneca, eBay, Microsoft, Nissan, T-Mobile/Telecom, and Walgreens. Egypt originally seemed to have evaded a coronavirus outbreak. The first case was reported in February and Egypt did not report a surge in infections as seen across the West. The Egyptian government would have preferred to stay in denial. Ordinary Egyptians, speaking out on social media, forced it to own up to the growing health crisis. Questions? Please send them to michael.thomas.180@o.af.edu.